This is what I found metal detecting and dump digging in August of 2024. So we'll start kind of in the back there. Got some neat bottles. This is old Quaker. Dated that. I thought it was going to be pretty new because it's in such good condition. That is actually from about 1920. Premier Creamery. Another little bottle, neat little bottle. And this guy, I can't imagine what was in there. Maybe a drink of beer or soda or something. And then this is maybe not how this was meant to be, but it kind of fit. So the little stopper and a cork bottle there. Over here we have some kind of personal possessions type items, like a drawer pull, part of a sink, a faucet. This was exciting at first because it's round and it has writing. The writing says Packers shampoo, so not that exciting. This is a suspender clip, and these are the tops of jars back in late 1800s, early 1900s. That had a steel band that went around it on the top of the jar. Of course, you'll recognize a wee little bitty railroad spike. And then this is kind of fun. This says Outdoor Girl. It's a little brass lid. And then this was a bottom of maybe a pocket watch or something. They don't necessarily go together, but they fit. So I shine them up, and I think it looks kind of neat that way. 1912 date nail. This is kind of fun. A little pocket knife. It's seen better days, but that's a Remington pocket knife. And wouldn't that be neat if I could restore that? I don't think I can, but anyway. Here's a little pocket watch. Now, some of these things are cleaned up, and some of these things are what we call farm fresh. So you'll have to kind of decide which you're looking at. Found two parts of scissor that actually go together, but I couldn't find the blades for them. And over here's a couple of horseshoes. We'll get to this in just a minute. Now I thought this was a Morse key when I found it, but then I found one in better shape. And this is actually, you can see Ford right there and right here. This one's in much better shape. This is the starter for a Model A or a Model T. I'm not sure which. Chunk of aluminum. I'll probably melt that. Here's a nice brass padlock from back in the day. RFD. Commonly, that would have probably stood for Rural Fire Department. There might be some markings on the back that I can't make out. Here's a little shaver head. That's stainless. It takes stainless steel 25 years to develop rust. A Colgate lid. And this was a poker chip back in the day. Here's a creamer. It says it's a sample of Marietta Stanley Co. creamer. And a couple little pieces of maybe like jewelry or a drawer pull. I'm not sure which. This is definitely a little drawer pull. And then there's the big one in the back. These are a couple pieces of petrified wood that I found out buried in an old dump. A little doll leg. This is fun. It's a little mold. It says rabbit, in case you don't know what it is. And Japan. So that's kind of interesting. I might cast something with that. I'll do a plastic in here, and then I could do a push mold. Or a drag casting, it's also referred to as. Now, I do like when I find pieces like this that have some little design on them. I'd like to do that, incorporate that into my art in future. And these are all gilded edge plates. And sometimes on the back you can see they say that it's, quote, real gold. So that's kind of fun. Here we have a really nice porcelain door handle. That's exactly how I found it. This has not been cleaned up at all. And likewise with this Pyrex dish. Now, I don't know how old the Pyrex company is, but you'll notice it's printed backward and inverse. So that's kind of fun. This is a piece of what they call radiation glass, and it fluoresces very brightly under black light. Some old buttons. Every time I find a button, it makes me think of my wife, and that makes me kind of happy when I'm out in the dumps. An old clothespin. That one's in pretty good shape. It's got the patent date, 1897, I think. These here are garter clips, and these here are suspender clips. I'm told they're different. Here's a suspender clip with a little heart on it. How lewd. Some other little boot pieces up here, and a buckle from probably a watch. Key ring, and a broken key, and a good key. And these things were real exciting at first until you find out that they're not. These, I do not know what these are. If you know what these are, I would love to hear from you. They kind of look like little game pieces, but they look like also they've been mass produced. I don't have a date on them. I don't know what they are. There's hexagon shaped ones and round ones. Here we have a couple of big clay marbles and one little one. Here's a little piece of jewelry. Now I intend to make this into another piece of jewelry along with something else that I'll show you here in just a minute. I like finding this old jewelry and kind of bringing it back, so to speak. I'm going to cast this, but it's going to be a little different. It might be split down the middle here and put together over here into a ring. Here we have several really neat buttons. Lee Union Alls. These are Levi Strauss & Co. up here. This little one is Boss of the Road, and these say BCS. These two here. This is Boss of the Road, and this one here has like a wreath, and there's a Lee Union Alls. And then I really like this one here. It's got a little train on it. Very cool. I might repurpose that one too. Here's a little pin. Not sure. Like a FLP, but the L is backwards. Maybe it goes this way. FLT. And it's still got the pin back. So if you know what the FLT is, I would love to hear from you. Now we're getting to some of the real exciting stuff. A couple of wheat pennies. These were 20 was the oldest and 34 was the newest. There's a Canadian penny, 1983, but it's in pretty good shape. And then we have this buffalo nickel that is just hammered. I used Nicodate to try to get that date out there, and I can't tell if it's 1913 or 1915. And it's got an S mint mark for sure. This is a lead bale seal. That's real cool to find something like that because it's old, you know. All this stuff is old. And then here's a little locket thing. Little piece of jewelry. Here's a tie bar. This is how they used to do it back in the day. Before that, they used to do a tie pin, and I'll show you that in a sec. But there's also this little ring. It's pretty bent up. I don't know if I'll get anything out of it. Okay, here's, I'm not sure if it's a tie pin or just a regular pin. This was so exciting to find because look at that shiny stone in the middle there. That is a diamond. These little stones are most likely sapphires. And as good as this looks, you might be able to see it is stamped 14K on one of these ends. But that weighs 3.9 grams, so it's worth about $200 at today's spot price. Real exciting. I'm going to repurpose this as well. I'm going to turn that into kind of like a ring shape, I think. If I could have it go like that. But anyway, now I'd like to get to this here. I found a whole bunch of shotgun shells. These are the old paper shells. So it's just the bottom brass. Real old. If you can guess how many of them I found, I would love for you to put that in the comments. I'm going to have a giveaway. What I'm giving away to whoever comes the closest or guesses it correctly is I'm working on this new money art. This is a work in progress. This is going to be actual, roughly money size, about a 2x4 note. It's 500 eagles. So I'm going to do that in a limited production print. I've been doing them in runs of 252, but this one is going to be less. I'm thinking maybe 100. Anyway, whoever guesses the number of shotgun shells that I found in 1 month in one location, that's what happened here. It was a big old, basically a spill of them. It was in one small area I found all these shotgun shells. Here's a good look. Put your guesses down below, and we'll see who wins. Thanks so much for watching.